Oh, there we go. Hello, and welcome to the Black Feather Guild. So we're doing our premiere of Empires and Epitaphs tonight. It's a D&D 5th edition Forgotten Realms game. Looking really forward to it. Before we do jump in to meet all the cast and do all the story stuff, I wanted to really quickly go over... sorry, one second. I wanted to really quickly go over viewer actions. So ways that you can actually participate from the audience. So there's a number of ways that you can do that. One of the easiest ways to do so is through the game tweet, which you can find right there in chat. For every 10 interactions on that, that's likes, retweets, and comments, a D6, or sorry, a D4 will go to the cast and the DM. Another way that you can get involved is through guild coins, which you earn just by watching the stream, going on raids with us, things like that. And you can see all of those in the rainbow colored icon right below your Twitch chat box. There's also a little brief explanation right here of what you can get with those called plot points. And that gets anything from an inconsequential change to the scene that's happening, all the way up to a major one. A major one is typically like a boon that you give to the cast or a specific character or to the DM to give them something they need when they critically need it. Or you can even do a curse, which would deny them something they critically need at the moment that they need it, and they have to figure something else out. And then the inconsequential one is like renaming a tavern or something like that in the game. There's full details on that in the panels down below, or you can click on each individual item. I'm getting tongue-tied today. Each individual item in the Guild Coin menu, and it'll have a full description on there as well. Another way that you can get involved is through direct donations. We've already had two actually, thanks to Michael Wayne. So we had a $10 donation, which is a complication, which has already been relayed to the DM and is going to be put into the game. Let's see if I can scroll down to that full description here, so you all know what it is. So at some point in the game, there's going to be a creature made of cake, and none of us are going to know anything about it until somebody takes a bite out of it or like a piece comes off of it. So our DM, Zan, is going to integrate that into the game and into the scenes, and at some point that will show up because of that donation. And then Michael also gifted us with a gifted sub, which gave $5 to Zan to spend on this little chart over here. So that's kind of how that works. You can do these either through coffee.com/Raven or Raven.rocks. Those are direct donations. You can also do subscriptions or bits, the same amount there. And then our patrons, our Bard tier and higher patrons on Patreon, which will be in chat here, get credits towards viewer actions every month that can be redeemed at any point for whatever show that they would like. So a lot of really cool ways that you can get involved with all that. And I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, one quick note on some of these that may not be super self-explanatory. So the Switch, often I get asked, like, well, what the heck is the Switch? It's not a Nintendo. It's the ability to change somebody else's action word. So let's say, we'll use me as an example. I'm not playing a bard in this game, but I typically do play a lot of bards. So let's say that I'm following a bunch of cliches, and I'm like, I want to seduce the dragon as the bard. Well, the DM, if they're like, I really don't want that to happen, or I think it'd be funnier if you did something else, can throw out a switch if they have one, and then I would have to change the word seduce, being the action word, to something that's not synonymous. And so I have to come up with something more creative or just different. So switches are a really fun way to nudge the story in different directions, and they go both ways. You can use them on the DM, and you can use them on the players, depending on which pool it's coming from. Advantage is a straight-up D&D advantage. So you roll twice, you call it before the roll twice, take the better result. Reroll is like an advantage, but it can be done after the fact. So let's say you didn't use an advantage, you're like, oh, I've got a super high score in this, no big deal, and you roll a nat 1. Well, you could use a re-roll to do that, to undo that, get a new roll. Complication, we already talked about. Swap 2 players for 5 minutes is a really fun one. The cast members actually have to play each other's characters for 5 minutes, and you just pick the 2 cast members that you would like to have do that. And that includes the DM, so you could have somebody else in the hot seat for 5 minutes and the DM playing somebody else's character. It's always a riot, and it's really fun to see the different cast try to imitate each other's characters. And then finally, the 1-up is a safety net. So for this being D&D, if somebody would go to 0 hit points or is at a point where they're rolling, death save throws, rather than going down to 0 hit points or dying, they come back to 1 hit point instead. So it's not exactly a get out of jail free card, but it is sort of an extra chance to survive. So if you've got a player or a character that you particularly enjoy and you really want to make sure that they don't die in this campaign, 1-ups are a great way to do that. Thank you again, Michael, for the $3 donation, giving a switch to the DM. And with that, I think that is everything. So we're going to hop over to the cast and introduce everybody, and then we'll get going on the game. Where'd my screen go here? Sorry about that. There we go. So, hello everyone. Zan, I will pass it on over to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and huge ups to Michael already. You've given me quite a few new tools in my arsenal. Oh man, as
Thank
I
you.
speak,
Thank you.
Michael Wayne, what are you? What are you? The legend, the human, the one, the greatest of them all. Thanks so much for that. We really appreciate it. Um,
30 gifted subs. That's wild. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks a lot. That's massively appreciated. Um, yeah, before Michael stuns me with any more kindness, let's do a quick cast introduction. So we're gonna start with with the Madam of the Hour herself, Raven. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and
Yeah,
about
so
the character that you'll be playing?
absolutely. So I'm Raven. I'm a tabletop streamer. I also do a plethora of other things in the tabletop role playing game industry, including writing, designing, editing. I do graphic art and design, things like that, and even some voice acting. You can find out all about what I do at my Twitter, which is right below my face. And if you're on this channel, you probably already know some of my links. So um, there's that. As far as Bark, she is a gnome. I'm starting out with a level of rogue, and we'll see where she goes from there. But to she's definitely going to be her own character with her own personality and everything. But the kind of foundation I'm working on is Quark from Deep Space Nine. So this character is going to have rules of profit that they follow and things like that. She's definitely looking to build a business empire. Um, and not much of a fighter. She'd much rather hire somebody to do that for her. So we'll see how things go. But that's pretty much Bark.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and head down on the camera order and hit Devon. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little about your character?
Sure. Hello. I'm Devon. My Twitter's pretty sure it's below my face. Um, I play D&D and watch a lot of anime and teach kids to not drown in water. Um, I also like to write, so I do a lot of that too. And my character is their name is Mizar Ates. They are a fire genasi barbarian. They used to be a slave and now they want to get back at their previous masters as well as anybody else that does me wrong by becoming the best bounty hunter possible. Will they do it? Who knows? I really don't yet. We'll see how this campaign goes. Glad to be here.
Just real quick, thank you so much, April. Yes, I'm stacking the switches. I'm loving this. I've got 2 switches under my belt now. Where just when y'all thought you had control of the game, there is no control. Uh, and that's a 1d6 to the cast and a switch to me. Um,
Perfect.
yeah, and so now we're going to move on to Face. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and who you're playing today.
Yeah, I'm Face. I'm pretty new to D&D. I've only been playing for, I think, like 8 months now, but super excited about it. In a past life, I was a performance poet and trying something a little different now. I'm playing Miev. Miev is a half-orc rogue. They have a pretty bad memory and used to be part of a small-time smuggling ring. So we'll see how they play.
All right, and Village System, can you please introduce yourself and let us know who you're going to be playing today?
Hi, I'm Susie. I'm going to be playing Elva. Elva is an undead pet shop owner, uh, specifically a skeleton, who has uh, what did we agree on yesterday for the hair?
Oh, it was Spanish Moss.
Spanish moss, yes, long Spanish moss as a
That's
wig
amazing.
for their hair. just just hopefully cheerful, but we'll see. We'll see.
And I know what the audience must be thinking, what, a skeleton in a game? Well, this is going to be a game of odd allies and cooperations building a. If the name Empires and Epitaphs didn't give you didn't give this away. It's going to be a game of cooperation between the living and the dead. Calliope, can you please introduce yourself and let us know who you're going to be playing today?
I'm Calliope, and when I'm not doing this, I'm working with middle schoolers doing gamification to help them feel more interested in school and doing lots of RPGs with my all girls group called Slay Queens and all my other heroes of the hall. I'm going to be playing Lady Diatomaceous. She is a revenant, which means she's too pissed off to die. And she runs, she's sort of the town gossip. She's kind of got a like 1970s Liz Taylor vibe that's sort of like aged starlet. You know, she's the kind of gal who wears like a caftan and a turban, but like not ironically, because she thinks she's cool. And she runs a she's sort of the beauty consultant of the town. And so she has two doors to her store, and one of the doors is Curl Up and Dye, and that's the place where you get your hair and nails done. And then there's Fashion to Die For, and that's the clothing aspect.
Excellent. All right.
Can we agree that Belva frequents both of those?
Oh, for sure. I think that the pet
course.
store is pretty much right across the street.
Oh, got a colorful cast. And last but not least, Kat, can you please introduce yourself and let us know who you're going to be playing today?
Hi, I'm a cat named Schrodinger, or a cat in Schrodinger, depending on where you're finding me. I'm playing Locrian, the ghost of a tiefling bard who can't speak. And that's about it.
Very interesting. Gonna see some good character choices coming out of that, I suspect. And yeah, I'm Zan. I'm a regular player and DM here on Raven's channel, and on the side I do some professional DM work. So if you're interested, please let me know. I'll be putting my links into chat in just a second. And yeah, so without any further ado, what do y'all say we get started and we tell a little bit of a story? So our story's going to start not the day of the adventure, but a long time before, in the quiet coastal town of Joy's Cove, a peaceful, idyllic community where three of our party currently reside, making their way and doing jobs that make them happy, feeling fulfilled. No worry of where the next meal is going to come from. No worry of strife or struggle. Almost a paradise. Until one day, everything changes. A dark miasma creeps into town, choking the life from its occupants. Plants wither and die, and those that don't immediately leave soon succumb to the smoke. However, for these characters, death is not the end. Sometime after, they find their consciousness returned to their forms, and they rise from their graves if they were lucky enough to have one to begin with. In this new city, they find their new ruler, Zarek, the Bone Lord, has proclaimed dominion over this, which he now calls the Eternal Necropolis. And he politely, succinctly, informs you all that you are now his minions, and as long as you do what he asks, things will continue unabated. And so, you try to make your own life. You try to adjust, and yeah, Michael, I like grave. I have a grave sense of humor. You all make your life the best you can. There's at certain times a few uprisings among the undead, but Zarek quickly casts their bones aside with his necromantic powers. And so time moves on, and complacency breeds comfort. as you all accept this as your new undead life. However, without a steady supply of tourism, no souls to feed his phylactery, Zarek has begun to weaken, his hold on the city slipping, and residents of the nearby town of Gardenholm realize that now is their opportunity to retake the land once known as Joy's Cove. So that's where our adventure is going to start, with Mev, Bark, and Mizar. The three of you find yourselves gathered in a crowded town hall. The local town, we'll call him speaker, for it's not so much a mayoral role, more of an enthusiast, has gathered you all and a few dozen other errant adventurers together and excitedly proclaims, "Well, hello, everyone. I am so happy that you all have gathered here today. Well, it has come to our attention that the town of Gartenholm has more interest than it can bear to sustain. So it is in regards to this that we have decided to retake the eternal necropolis, once known as Joy's Cove to our long dead ancestors." And you hear an elf pop up from the back. "It wasn't that long ago. I remember it. It wasn't. It was only yesterday." And the town speaker ignores it and continues. "So what everyone is going to do here, please gather yourself into your predetermined groups of adventurers, 3 to a party, please, and make your way into the city. Whosoever is the one to destroy the Lich will gain dominion over the city and hold sway of its growth in the future. We look forward to dealing with whoever is the economic head of our future allies. Dismissed!" And with that, the crowded room quickly breaks into groups of 3. Each heading to their assigned table, where there is a modest meal of lobster bisque and soft yeast rolls, along with some trail rations for you to take along your time. And that's where 3 of our adventurers find themselves, all gathered around a table with aromatic soup and freshly baked dinner rolls in front of them. And the camera is yours. Bark, Maeve, and Bizar. Can you please describe to us who the 3 of you see sitting at the table? We'll start with you, Bark.
All right. So Bark is kind of eccentrically dressed. I mean, she is a gnome to start with, but it's not like your stereotypical gnome outfit. She's got like a very fancy. Thank you again, Michael.
Wow, Michael! Thank you so
Another
much.
$10 donation. After destroying a foe with a weapon, gains a +1 to something, but the weapon is possessed by the foe. So after destroy a foe with a weapon, it gains a +1 to something, but the weapon is possessed by the. Got it. Okay. I had to read that twice. Cool. Zan, I will let you handle that.
All right, yeah, that's. I think we can have some real fun with that one.
But yeah, they've got like a brightly colored sort of sport coat on. Very D&D style sport coat, and probably some really fancy pants with like gold embroidery or something like that on them, and like a white flowing top, the very fancy type. I can't think of what it's called because my brain is mush today, but um, like you'd see in a Musketeer movie, with the poofy sleeves and the poofy collar. Uh, and she's got purple hair. Her skin tone is it's sort of a peach type skin tone, but with a purple tint to it. And she has yellow eyes. And she is a gnome, so she is very small.
Small gnome. Excellent. And sitting to her left is Maeve. Maeve, can you please describe who Bark sees?
Yeah. Um, Miev is a pretty tall. They're like 5'11", half orc, with reddish gray skin tone. They're youngish, I would say young adult. Shaved sides of their head with a very thick, deep brown braid that runs all the way down their back. They're pretty stocky. They have like one pretty big scar that you can see peeking out of a white shirt around their collarbone. Other than that, they're wearing like a leather vest with a bunch of pockets, pants with a bunch of pockets, and some leather boots. And they have two silver hoops in their left ear. And while they're sitting down, getting ready to talk, they have a leather, like water-resistant journal out, scribbling notes furiously in coded and thieves' cant.
Excellent. And Mazar, who do your newfound teammates see sitting at the table?
Izar is a male fire genasi, 5'6", 5'6" and a half. He has like shoulder length hair, but all of his hair is like twisted into many. It's basically dreads. And his hair is kind of like an orangish color, dark red skin. His eyes are like a light pink, actually, but then like it's like light pink into it gets darker towards the center of his eyes. He's wearing like traveler slacks and a dark gray shirt. He's wearing a black cloak that has it looks like self-fashioned face cover on it. It's basically two white ties cut into the neck of the cloak and a black covering. It looks like he made it himself. And he doesn't wear shoes. He has a shoulder like satchel, and then on his back is just a giant great sword in one slot and a longbow on the other, and the quiver kind of like hangs off the bag on his side.
Excellent. Fantastic. So, as the three of you literally break bread together, do you attempt to plan? Do you attempt to name your new adventuring outfit? How do you proceed?
That guy talks too much.
I like to.
Wow!
Oh, hey!
Thanks for that raid. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are doing we're just starting a first session of Empires and Epitaphs, where our heroes are seeking to rescue the undead, enslaved inhabitants of the eternal necropolis from the dire lord Zarek, the Bone Lord.
Yeah, thanks so much for that raid. How was your stream? And also, hey, I see Noir in there.
Oh, welcome, Noir.
Hi, good to see you.
Hello, friends.
Awesome. Thank you all very much.
Awesome.
Thank you again, Michael, for another gifted sub. Noir, that gives you $5 to use on the viewer action chart right underneath where Zan's lovely face is.
Yes. So, whew, that's a lot of new folks.
That is.
Excellent. We're so happy to have y'all in, and our campaign has just started too, so you couldn't have picked a better time. So yeah, our heroes, or half of our heroes, are gathered around the table. Their party randomly formed amongst a horde of other ambitious adventurers seeking to lay their claim in this perhaps formerly Ghost Town. Uh, and it is now time for them to plan and set out. How do you proceed?
That guy talks too much. It's a lot of big words. Not really what I'm good at, but if we need to hit stuff, I can help.
Uh, I think I like to call this adventuring outfit adventurer chic. Kind of what I'm going for. But I think the real strategy we should have here is to do a hostile economic takeover. So we should buy up all the businesses first. And I think that's going to be our best first step, yeah.
Question. Go ahead. Maza
Yep.
kind of points at you.
I was just wondering if ghosts care that much about gold.
Well, they're dead, so I don't know.
Well, as one of the rules of profit states, greed is eternal. So, and even if they're dead, they're still going to need gold.
Okay. I just know that
I
if
don't
you
have much
need
capital.
either, but if you need someone to hit stuff or potentially set stuff on fire, I'm your guy.
Good skills.
That's good.
Mizar, by the way.
Oh, hi, I'm Bark. Nice to meet you.
I'm Miev. And Miev writes your names down very quickly.
Mizar doesn't know how to read, so he doesn't exactly know what you're doing.
Bark's pretty good at remembering things, so she's just sort of like recording as she's eating.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, please continue.
So, you've said hostile takeover and buy everything. If people get in,
Yeah.
okay, so there's like X number of other people here that are going for the same sort of goal. So I'd like to at least punch one person from one other group in the face.
Right. Oh, I tell you what. We'll set up a bout. We'll get you and one of the big, punchy guys from the other groups, and we'll set up a ring, and I'll sell tickets, and we'll take bets, and then we'll raise capital from that to go buy up the other town.
Works for me.
All right, now which one of these guys or gals? And Bark's just looking around, kind of sizing up the rest of these people and looking for the biggest, meanest, toughest looking
As you
sort of.
as you look around, one particular figure catches your eye. Not the biggest in stature, not the broadest at the shoulder, but definitely the meanest little SOB you've ever seen in your life.
Okay. Perfect.
It's a goblin. You know this character's name is Boblin. And he's the rootin', tootin', meanest SOB you've ever seen. He kicks people while they're down and takes their boots while they're still breathing. Absolutely despicable character.
Perfect. Goblins speak Underdark, don't they?
Goblins speak Goblin.
Goblin, okay. Do I have Goblin in here? I got a whole bunch of languages with this. Goblin is not the one, or Undercommon is the one what I was thinking of, not Underdark. Undercommon was what I was thinking of, but that won't work. Okay, we'll just use Common. Are they facing us or paying attention to us at all? This
It looks
Boblin person?
It looks like Boblin and the two Goliaths that he's been paired with. They seem to be surveying the room, getting an eye for their competition.
Okay. What I'd like to do is when they're not looking at me or Mizar, throw a roll at their head and insult them.
Oh yeah. Make a ranged attack roll for me. We're gonna say you're proficient with bread.
Okay. I love it. I think this should be the same roll here with my short bow.
Yep.
With proficiency, so 17.
Yep, that'll definitely peg him right on the back of the head. Now the
Perfect.
important question: did you dip it in the bisque before you threw it?
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay, so it lands with a on the back of Boblin's head before sliding down, leaving a somewhat eyesore of white soup running down his head. He turns around and goes, "All right, you threw that."
And Bark's just pointing at Mizar. Right here. This one.
Wait, what? Mizar just kind of like half eating, and like he has a roll in his hand, and he's looking at Bark. What?
All right, you and me, we're gonna settle this like proper goblins.
Not a goblin.
Bark's gonna speak up, just like hop up on top of the table and go, "Oh, we've got a challenge issued. Looks like a really big, exciting match. We're gonna set up a ring. We don't want to fight in here because that would ruin all the food. And Boblin, he did say his name already, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay.
He is a known figure in this town.
Okay. So Boblin, that would ruin all the food if we fought here, and you're gonna want food. So I'll go set up a ring out in the square, and everybody that wants to watch, it's gonna be translating currency in my head. It's 10 silvers, 1 gold piece, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
5 silver a head. Taking all bets.
And there's a murmur from the crowd as people gauge the prospects of the infamous bully Boblin getting taken down, and people start to make their way outside. The town speaker goes, "Well, I was hoping that maybe people would be excited to go adventure, but if you just want to stand around and punch like brutes, then that is fine as well, I suppose, as long as some of you make it to the town."
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Speaker. Think of this as pregame.
So there's nothing wrong with the warm-up fight.
Yeah, see?
Okay, so Bark, why don't you just go ahead and make a charisma check for me to see how well you can hype up these ticket sales.
Perfect. Just straight charisma?
Straight charisma.
Okay. 15.
15. All right. Yeah, you get about I'm not gonna say all, but you get about 20 folks that are interested. Definitely the majority of the people that were inside have a vested interest in this fight. So you have made 10 silver or 10 gold.
Fantastic. I'm gonna have Bark use her rope to just set up like a makeshift square in the middle of the town, and the road or whatever the biggest open area there is.
Okay.
And is there like a fountain or a statue or anything like that in the?
Yeah, we're gonna say there is a giant statue of an Aarakocra, a large bird person with water dripping off of their wings.
I think Bark's gonna like climb up onto one of the wings, just some elevated position, and just do like commentary of the whole fight as it's happening.
Okay.
Like a sportscaster.
Mav, are you doing anything?
Yeah, while all the setup is happening and bets are being placed, I would like to keep an eye out for some people to relieve of their gold.
Okay, make a perception check.
Perception?
Yes.
Ooh.
Trying to pick folks out in the crowd.
It's not good.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's kind of in their adventuring gear, and maybe their satchels aren't aren't easily seen. If you want to pick one at random and try to pick their pocket, though, you're certainly more than welcome to.
Sure, let's do that.
All right, make a sleight of hand check for me.
That's a lot better.
So what was that? 24.
24.
Yeah, you find a silver skinned dragonborn. I mean, their skin's silver, so surely they've got silver on them. And yeah, you find a pouch containing 12 gold.
Mr. Boblin, before this starts, I have a question for you. Do you want to do this with a weapon or without a weapon?
I don't care. I'm gonna eat your ear.
No. And then
Yes.
Mizar, he unhooks the cloak, and underneath the cloak on his back, you couldn't really see them because the greatsword was on top, but you see the handle of a long sword and a shield that are strapped directly to his chest, and he unhooks the cloak, drops it, and then pops a latch on his chest, and they both fall like clanging to the ground. And it's like the great sword, and then the cloak's underneath, and then everything else. And then he pulls the great sword off of his back with one hand and spins it and puts it in the both. It's like, well, I got this. If you want to have one weapon of your own, cool.
Yeah.
We can take this to first. We can take this till somebody gives up or is knocked unconscious, whichever you prefer.
I'm gonna knock you out, and then I'm gonna eat your ear.
I think Bark can overhear this, right?
Yes. Boblin is near shouting.
Okay. I think Bark is gonna call out and be like, "Oh, it's getting personal here. Orcs, halflings, humans, lend me your ear, because pretty soon Mizar's gonna need one."
Mizar looks up at you and goes, "Earful," and then he kind of like leans forward with the sword in his hand, and he rolls his shoulders back, and his eyes begin glowing a faint reddish pink, and he goes into a rage.
All right, so let's roll initiative.
Would you like us to roll initiative from the sidelines as well, or just Mizar?
Unless y'all are going. Wow, that's a weird decimal point.
It's the because that's my dex in case of a tie.
Okay.
So it's the actual number, and then the decimal is whatever the the actual score is in case of a tie.
That makes so much more sense. Okay. Excellent then. Well, it is definitely not a tie, as Boblin rolled a natural 18. So we're going to start then with Boblin's move. And if at any point Bark and Maev want to intervene, then let me know and we'll throw y'all into initiative.
Okay.
So Boblin is going to unsheath a small hooked dagger from his waist and go, "I said I was going to eat your ear, but I'm going to eat your nose." Wow, and that is a voice that will be the death of me. And he's going to rush forward with his knife out. And go for your nose, much as he said. Is a 19 going to hit you?
Yes, that hits.
Fantastic. So you're going to take 4 damage, reduced to 2, as the knife carves up your face.
Okay. And
it will be your turn.
Mizar kind of stumbles backwards as that knife comes, scratches his face, and without missing a beat with this guy in front of him, he takes his sword and swings it around.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think an 8 hits.
8, unfortunately, is not going to do it, as he not only you expect him to duck, but he doesn't. He leaps up, lands on your sword, quickly turns around and exposes his bottom to you for just a second before leaping from the blade. Is there anything you would like to do with the bonus action?
I'm gonna burn you, little man. And that's my turn.
All right. It's Boblin is going to run back up to you and make another swing with his knife. Unfortunately, he's going to do absolutely terribly at it and miss wildly.
I say as he's running, I like flip the sword up to try and like get full control of it.
Sure, can certainly do that. Yeah, and it'll be your turn.
I said I was gonna burn him.
right.
So I'm as a fire genasi, I'm going to produce flames
Okay.
and try to burn him.
All right. Is that a spell attack?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and make a spell attack roll. What's your key ability for this?
24. Hey. Not sure. Because it's a cantrip.
Yeah, it should say you use one of your abilities as your casting modifier for this. So that will determine what his saving, what the save that he needs.
There's no save on here. I make a ranged spell attack. If it hits, the target takes 1d8.
Oh, it's a
fire
ranged
damage.
spell attack. Okay,
Yep,
well then
it's a ranged spell
that'll definitely hit it then. And
So-
yeah, you roast him. He is solidly cooking.
Yep.
Uh,
And I'm gonna pop back 30 feet.
all right. As you do so, he takes another swing at you. As you leave his attack, as you leave his threatened area. I'm guessing a 13 is not going to hit you.
If it meets, it beats.
It meets, it beats. And you're going to take 1 point of damage after reduction. However, he's going to realize that he's on fire and go, "Oi, oi! This one's cheating. I ain't got nothing about setting on fire. This is a disgrace." And his voice is going to change after this, as the smoke that he's inhaling is apparently destroying his lungs. And he says,
Bark's just gonna call out and say, "Hey, we got a fight and a barbecue."
He goes, "Yeah, this is not this is not a fair fight. Fuck it. You know what? You're not worth my time. You're not worth my time. I'm gonna find you in this city, and I'm gonna cut your throat while you're asleep."
Hey, we said weapon. I said, do you want to do this with weapons or no weapons? Fire just happens to be one of my weapons.
It's a spell. I didn't say nothing about that. You're a fucking cheat.
Are spells weapons? Yes or no?
And no spells aren't weapons. Not amongst men.
So
And,
are you saying you give up? Are you a quitter?
he's going to turn around, pull his pants down, and expose himself to you before walking out of the ring.
Can
I want to throw
Bark
fire at him
interject here?
again.
Sure.
I want to throw fire at him. What is it?
Okay.
16?
16 will hit.
3 fire damage.
Yeah, you roast him, and there is an unpleasant burning smell as he quickly pulls his pants up and yips away into the crowd.
Great.
And Bark, what were you wanting to do?
So Bark, when my brain today, what was his name? Boblin?
Boblin. Yeah, Boblin the Goblin.
Boblin. So when he starts saying, it's against the rules, or we didn't say that, Bark is gonna pull out just some random book from her bag and kind of hold it up, doing the exaggerated moving the finger back and forth. Yep, actually, spells are allowed. It's in the rule book.
All right. And Mav, is there anything else that you were wanting to do?
Not right now. No, just watching, taking it in.
All right. Well, it looks like this is done, and y'all are, as a party, you are 23 gold richer.
Mia does
That's awesome.
give Bark 10 of the gold that they got from that Dragonborn.
Oh, nice.
And
So was that 23 on top of what we already got for the tickets and the stealing?
that was the combined thing. 10
Okay,
from tickets, 10 from tickets, 13 from stealing.
gotcha. Bark will give 5 gold to Mizar and go, there you go, there's your cut.
Mizar does not have a good concept of money, but so he nods and puts it in his pocket with the rest of his money.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, we're gonna say that y'all gather whatever supplies that you need, rest for the evening, and with first light in the morning, make your way to the eternal necropolis. And that's where we're going to shift our focus to the latter half of our party. How do the three of you spend your days in undeath? We're gonna start with you, Lachlan. How does Lachlan spend his time?
So Locrian, like the seventh mode of music, like instead of major, minor, Locrian is the seventh mode of.
All right.
Can't talk. He mostly just hangs around. Mostly like he's like a poltergeist at this point. He's just casting spells, writing insults to the Bone Digger or the Bone Lord over here. Poltergeist.
Yeah.
He's a
Poltergeist
dick.
stuff. That certainly works for me.
Yeah, I mean he's keeping up morale of the people around him by insulting the Bone Lord.
Sure, that sounds perfect. Lady Di, how do you occupy your days with no breath in your lungs?
Lady Di, Diatomaceous, does much of what she did before. She is incredibly angry at Zarek. What's his name? Zarek.
The Bone Lord. Dun dun dun.
And she's like, over it because he killed everyone on the day of the festival. And as the head of the tourism department for Joy's Cove, the biggest day of the year, everybody was having parasols. There was a lot of good, money in it. Everyone looked amazing. And now everything's ruined. It's called Eternal Necropolis. Nobody even wants to come. Business is down. So she spends a lot of time sort of helping the undead with their fashion. When somebody's like jaw falls off, she procures them a new jaw or arm or whatever that fits in with their, overall aesthetic. And so she's busy. She's very busy all the time.
Okay. And ooh, sorry, that Boblin voice absolutely ruined me. And what was the festival that was supposed to take place on the day of the Necropolis's birth?
Well, so for a long time, there has been a competition between Garden Home and Joy's Cove over who has the biggest ball of yarn. And so it's the Yarn Festival Day. It absolutely was going to be Joy's Cove. They were going to take it back because stupid Garden Home keeps thinking they're going to be the ones with the biggest ball of yarn. And as the head of tourism, I can't have that. So we had this big festival planned. We were going to weigh it and make sure that we had the title, all wrapped up, so to speak. And there was going to be the yarn ball.
Mhm.
And that's like a big dance outdoors. So then this miasma came and it ruined it for everyone. Yeah, not right.
It's fair. It's fair. I think this day is particularly bitter for you. This is the 233rd anniversary of what was supposed to be the Yarn Ball. It's just, and you know what? They say that time heals all wounds, and it's not. This wound is not healing.
No, and she gets, I think over time, she's gotten like thinner and thinner and more and more pissed off at Zarek for ruining the yarn ball and now what's even worse is Garden Home has kept adding to their yarn ball
Yep.
all these years. Now it's like 3 times the size of our yarn ball.
They don't even remember you.
No,
They don't even remember the competition.
They don't. They just think they've always had the biggest yarn ball.
Absolute tragedy. And Elva, what is how do you spend your days now?
Oh, I spend my days just taking care of my pets. I find them on the side of the road and I have to revive them because they seem to not be lively anymore.
That's fair. What's the most recent pet you've applied your skilled trade to?
There was a snake, and when they die, they don't really have much in the way of bone structure. So I had to, give them a little bit more meat than usual. And that took a while.
I see. I'm trying to keep a straight face. Y'all are killing me with these fucking puns. Chad is absolutely alive with puns, and I'm quietly dying. This is my own personal hell that of my own making. Um, yeah. So, what did you name your new snake creation there, Elva?
Oh, its name is Mr. Wiggles.
Mr. Wiggles. I see. Uh, yeah, Mr. Wiggles is seems very happy with its new undead state of existence. It's enjoying the creature comforts that you provide it quite a lot.
I had to really, really, revive it a lot because snakes need meat to move.
They do. You can't just have them walking around like a centipede on their weird little bony ribbed things. That's a terrible
That won't
vision.
do.
Yeah, so I think it's around this time that y'all hear a bell going off through town, deep and ominous, ringing in an E flat key.
Oh yeah, I don't speak. This is gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's going to be a dong, 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 3 o'clock, and the sound of this absolutely strikes fear into anyone's heart, unaccustomed to this dreadful wailing of metal on iron, and you all know it to be time for book club. So the 3 of you, as I assume that 3 of you are friends of given your 200 some odd years in this town, the 3 of you are familiar with each other and somewhat friendly. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes.
I'd say we're best friends.
Besties.
Very much
Best
best friends.
Best friends forever.
Literally.
Literally. I'm just
Pun.
if we're gonna have book club, I just don't see, like, we've read all the books like 10 times. Why don't we do something else? I'm done with this book.
And
No.
as Lady Di, as you're going on this rampage, can you describe what you look like for as you were getting livid over this subject?
Lady Di has very pale, like gray skin, like diatomaceous earth, because that's her whole name. She has, when she's out and about, she has a very large red bouffant hairdo with a very small hat. And when she's at home, she wears a like one of those fashion turbans from the 70s with a big jewel on it. And she often, like, if parts of her need to be stitched back on, it matches. Like, there's nothing subtle about her style, which is sort of the prevailing style of the town. She wears a tight leather catsuit all the time to help keep her body parts on, but she wears either a big caftan when she's at home or like a corset and a big skirt when she's out and about. Today, I think she got she's like semi-dressed up for book club, so I don't think she has the hair. She has the turban, but she does have on the skirt, and you can see, like, as she crosses her legs in anger, she has a thigh holster, but it doesn't have daggers in it. It has 2 pairs of scissors, a comb, and a tape measure, just in case she has to do any work. She's always prepared to do work. And so she's just sort of like over it. She's over the book, and she's frustrated. And she wears a lot of perfume also, because she is in fact made of decaying body parts.
Yeah.
So, and she's sort of an aged starlet. So for both of those reasons, she wears a lot of makeup and a lot of perfume. She's just sort of wafting angrily. I'm over it. I'm over it, Locrian. I just cannot read this drivel anymore. We should take out
ripping
macrame.
out pages and just like turning them into confetti as we go.
Yes, that's much better. And you know, Elva, I'm just like, just give this to your pets. Just give it all to your pets as pet litter or whatever. It just seems rather not worth it to read these books again.
Locrian, when you're just casually ripping these pages apart, what ghastly form is doing this literary murder?
So a semi-transparent tiefling, wearing. I'm pretty sure Lady Di wouldn't be caught live, or like wouldn't be caught dead or live, or I don't know, without somebody who isn't in fashion. So it might not be what he would choose to wear, but it's fashionable enough to be seen with Lady Di. And you know, he's probably around 6 feet. Not really like overwhelmingly. I don't have a lot of like descriptions for my character, to be honest.
That's okay. They're just kind of nebulous. Their facial features are a little ambiguous in their the haziness of their unlife.
Yeah, I mean, he's a ghost. You can't really focus in too much on any of his features. He's got horns and a tail. You can tell he's a tiefling. You can tell he's dressed pretty well. And yeah, he's got this kind of like this smirk on his face. You can tell he's like smug. Not smug, but like you can't really fuck with him too much. Like he doesn't take anything seriously enough.
I like the idea that maybe over the past 233 years, Locrian or Lady Di have figured out how to make his hue change a little bit so they're not clashing.
Yeah, of course. That's thaumaturgy 101 right there.
Yeah. So what day is it today? Do you think, Locrian? What color day is it?
Cyan.
Oh yeah, it's a cyan day, and so we're all in cyan.
Very nice.
Mm.
Very
And
fashionable.
maybe Susie, I feel like Lady Di has given you a very small hat too,
Yeah.
Elva, a very small hat to join in with the gang.
With the lovely flower in it.
Yes. Well, we must have we must do what we can to entertain ourselves.
It's been a long time.
And
Words that you see erupting from the confetti.
just 3 or 4 little strips of paper that come to float out the phrase before falling back to the.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I have a new idea for a book to read in book club, though.
What?
Pulls out a map of the Bone Lord's place. I think we'll find this very interesting.
Oh, Zarek. It's all about Zarek all the time.
Yeah, you notice that in the margins there's lots of keys for the various rooms, like Le Grand Bone Room, and the Pit of Eternal Despair, and yeah, sorry y'all. If y'all,
dramatic.
I hope y'all came here for the bad accents. They're not going anywhere.
So terribly dramatic.
It's rather gouged, don't you think? I mean, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little too on the nose.
Mm.
I'm done with it. We've read all the books a million times. This is supposed to be the 233rd anniversary yarn ball, and I don't know if I can do it anymore.
That's why we're going to bring a fight to him.
Oh God, I can't cry. My cheeks fall off when I cry.
Oh no.
Oh.
And I think we're gonna end the scene here with our adventuring party. Oh, I'm sorry, Elva. Do you want to describe what you look like before the camera cuts away?
Elva has long green wig, tiny hat, wears sundresses usually. Today is cyan. So, and is a bit shorter than Gaia, but not too much shorter.
Okay.
And has no eyes and is a skeleton.
So our the camera cuts away from our skeleton, zombie, and wraith, muttering their complaints over the poor treatment and just general distaste of Zarek the Bone Lord. And we're gonna go back to our adventurers. You've set out, and the sun is high in the sky. You know that you're drawing near to your destination as the ground is slowly becoming blanketed in mist. How are you proceeding?
Yeah. I feel like Mizar is walking kind of behind Bark and Miev, and he's kind of just like he's swinging his longsword in his hand and like trying to whistle but can't. So it's not like that sound of when you're trying to blow air out. It's just like, yeah. So that's just what he's doing.
Almost sounds like a kettle boiling, I imagine. Just
Yes.
Yeah. Maev, Bark, what are you two doing on your trail?
I think Miev thinks that Bark has all the answers, and so is like flipping through their journal and wants to know more about the plan because Bark seems to know what's going on.
That's a mistake. um, but Bark is definitely in between the two, because if something attacks from in front of us, better to be behind the person in front, and if something sneaks up from behind us, it's good to have somebody behind you. So Bark is thinking very self-preservation wise in that regard, and is just walking along much faster than the other two because she's got short little legs. Um, and she's just looking around going like, oh, this mist is gonna be terrible for my clothes. I'm gonna have to get these, like, whatever the magical equivalent of dry clean. I'm gonna have to get these special cleaned. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Miev?
Have you been there before? Do you know what we're doing first?
Oh no, I've never been there before. But you've seen one ghost town, you've seen them all. I'm sure it'll be a bunch of broken down businesses and buildings, and we'll just have to renovate. We might need to find some investors now that I think about it.
He should.
But I'm sure.
You should probably, I don't know, take down the speaker guy. Talks a lot. He makes my head hurt. The Bone Lord guy. Take him. Then nobody's in your way to have the. I don't know the term for it, but nobody's gonna get in your way when you try to do all your businesses and stuff. And then
Oh,
you
sure.
could also like loot his wherever he lives or whatever, and maybe have money for any businessy stuff you want to do.
Well, we could just
I mean, we could always ask him if we could
He's
have
a
the place.
bone lord. Never hurts to ask. He's a bone lord, right? So he likes bones. Is he lord of bones or is he lord made of bones or both?
Mhm.
I wasn't paying attention during that part.
I don't know,
I
but
didn't write anything down about that.
either way,
I wonder if I could sell him shares in a publicly traded graveyard. I gotta write that down. So she pulls out a notebook and starts jotting down that note. But if we could convince him that there's a better place that's got more bones, and then we, sell him shares of that place for a tidy profit, maybe he'll just leave and we can take over.
okay.
And if he gets rude, I'm sure Mizar can take care of him.
Yeah,
He's a strong fighter.
I was gonna say counterpoint to that. What if we ask him to leave or try to give him shares of stuff or something, and he says, "Piss off," and sends guards or something on us?
Well, that's why we have you.
Well, I'm okay with.
You're the plan B.
I'm okay with breaking bones. What's life without a little bit of breaking bones, right? Or I guess unlife in this. I don't know. I'm just gonna swing a sword at stuff.
And that works. I don't know. What do you think, Miev?
Sounds like a plan either way. I'm good with the looting part. Pretty good at that.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. And she kind of side glances at Miev and then, like, sort of discreetly, but not really, checks her coin purse. Okay, yep, they're all still there.
I have a question for you two. And Miser kind of stops walking for a second and slots the longsword back in its sheath, which is now on his side instead of on his back. Do either of you know? Because it's getting kind of misty around here. I can kind of see, but are you either of you two sure if we're going in the right direction or getting close?
I mean, I'm just following Miev because I don't know if you noticed, I'm pretty short. All I can see is mist and the top of Miev's head. So hopefully Miev's going in the right direction.
I hope so. I wrote down that the speaker told us to go this way, so hopefully I wrote my notes down correctly.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, like, we didn't, should we maybe, like, look and see if we, like, missed anything? Missed. And he kind of, like, chuckles to himself. Should we see if we missed any, like, extra paths or, like, we didn't get turned around because it's kind of foggy out here? Just want to make sure.
I can't really help much there. Hey, what if I rode on your shoulders? Then I could see.
So, and he points. He's like, they're taller.
That's Miev says or crouches down so that Bark can get on their shoulders.
Make like a survival or perception check to see if we're like going the right way.
Yeah, you certainly can. Go ahead and make a survival check.
Dope. I'm proficient in survival too. So 22, 24. Oh, actually, it's a 24 because it didn't add proficiency. Wait. Okay, so that's interesting. On roll 20, it says 22. On D&D Beyond, it says 24.
Weird.
Yes.
Very weird.
I'm just gonna. Okay, that 19 plus my proficiency, so 21. We'll just be in the middle.
Okay. Very strange. Yeah. Regardless, both of those rolls are still pretty solid. And judging by the fact that you were on the road, and you're starting to see the skeletal remains of buildings, you think you're probably on the right path.
Okay.
Can Bark do that as well from on top of Mia's
Of
shoulders?
course. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. Bark's also going to hand Miev. How much did I put down? 2 silver. 2 silver, and go. Thanks. You're being uber helpful.
Miev pockets that immediately.
I make no apologies for the pun. 11.
11. You can tell that even though there's mist, the city is getting a little more dense as you walk forward. And it's actually about this time that you see an oddly intact structure. Door actually closed, windows with shutters drawn over them, and you hear a commotion coming from inside.
Mine's just gonna step back a little bit and reach for his long sword that's on his side, and then pull his shield off his back. And be like, all right, so should I go first then? This is loud, and I don't know what's here. Unless either of you two want to go first. I don't care which way.
I can sneak up
pretty
there
sure-
and see what's going on, maybe.
I could do that too, but it seems like Miev's probably the better choice here. And Bark just kind of pats Miev on the top of the head since she's up on her shoulder.
All right. Let's go ahead and make your stealth roll then if you're trying to sneak up.
Are you setting Bark down first?
I am setting Bark down
Okay.
first.
Because that would be hilarious.
Yeah, no. We'll set you down, and then stealth is a 23.
23, yeah. You creep right along to the house, and the only words that you're able to hear are Bone Lord in very aggravated tones.
Miev is going to go back to the group and relay that information. Sounds like someone's pretty aggravated in there, but I only heard the words Bone Lord.
Side note, Zan, I figured out what it is. Roll 20, if you don't click on the virtual tabletop thing, roll 20 will do your roll and your proficiency bonus added together, but then D&D Beyond will do the flat roll plus the modifier and not the proficiency bonus.
Oh, weird.
So, yes. So you said they seemed upset?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Bark's gonna look at Miev and just sort of tilt their head, or tilt her head at them, and go, so were they upset at the Bone Lord or upset because of the Bone Lord?
Do I have a sense of that, DM?
You could just tell that they were upset.
I'm not sure, Bark.
I have an idea.
Could be some disgruntled tenants.
Yes.
That happens a lot.
Can either of you play an instrument?
No. Mm-mm.
No.
Well, there goes my idea. I was gonna say, let's pretend to be traveling minstrels and go in and use a musical performance as an attempt to like get information out of them. But if you want to just go in and say, hey, we're here to fight the Bone Lord, that could also just work. It's less fun, but
Well, I could be I don't play an instrument, but pretty good with my hands. I could say I'm like a magician
you do businessy
act
stuff.
type thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh, one more thing. So, the Lord sucks. And you said they seemed agitated and said Bone Lord. And Bark wants to create some business empire, and the Bone Lord's probably going to get in the way. So we could just skip these people and then just go to the Bone Lord. And if it doesn't work and we get our butts kicked, come back and say we need help. I like the magic idea though. I can make fire, so that could be fun.
Good work. I can
do card tricks.
Yeah. I can't do any of those things, but I can back you up.
All right.
Cool.
So what's the plan?
So I'm gonna put my shield back on my back, and then I'm just gonna put fire. I'm just gonna make fire in my hand.
Okay.
I got the fire.
Is there, similar to the last town, is there a statue or a fountain or anything elevated in the middle of the town?
Yes, there's a super goth raven statue.
Perfect.
Nice.
Bark's gonna hop up on it and start yelling out, like, gather round! We are the traveling, magical performance group troop thing. I really should have come up with a better name. The show's a lot better than the name.
I would like to juggle fire.
Make a performance check for me.
Sure. That's a 3 on a natural 1.
No!
That's a nat 1 plus 2.
You can just forget that plus 2. That's a natty 1 right there,
Yep.
boy.
It's a nat 1.
Man. Natty 1's natty 1 all day. Yeah. Yeah, shit.
I already know what Bark's gonna do.
You start off with an absolutely amazing performance. It is one of the I'm assuming this is not your first time doing it?
No.
Yeah, no, of course not. You're a trained professional. This is something that you could do second nature. Until from the doorway to the cottage, that Maev was just listening to, a few errant torn sheets of paper fly out from underneath the door. One landing on your face, the other on your palm, and both quickly catch light. And you are soon engulfed in a small-ish fire. It's very undignified, and our book club will hear this commotion going on outside.
Real quick, what species or race is Mizar?
Mizar is a Genasi. Fire Genasi.
Okay, so Bark. Oh, perfect. Bark's just gonna call out, "Yes, come see the Genasi torch."
So, you all hear this commotion outside book club. What do you do? This is the
I
first
think
time
we
you've heard
should go
living voices
check on
in a long
that.
time.
I think I tap. I tap something to kind of draw attention to the thing, like if we're all sitting here in our book club, focusing on the book club, and I hear something, I might nudge someone else to indicate that I hear something in case they also hear something, and that person might be Lady Di.
You're gonna have to go and look. I have to put my cheeks back together if we've got visitors. It's the first time we've had anyone for the tourist support in like ages. Go see what it is. But be sneaky.
I put my
Elba's
hand on Lady Di's face and cast Mending as a cantrip.
Thank you. Am I
Say it
right?
works.
Am I fine? Am I
Yeah, you're
fine?
fine.
Oh my god. Oh gosh, why
I
didn't
put a
they come
thumbs
on
up.
Teal Day? Teal Day is so much better with my skin tone. All right, come on. Let's go. See who's out there.
Elba's just sauntering in that direction.
All
Wait,
right.
wait for us.
So as the door opens and you see
Hmm.
this
Just
chaotic
casually.
display happening in front of you, that's where we're going to take our break. Because we're a little bit over an hour and a half in, and yeah, I think I'll pass the camera over to Raven, so she can lead us out.
Yeah, this has been fantastic so far. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens next. We're going to take a quick break, so make sure to stretch your legs, hydrate, grab snacks, anything that you need to do, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. See you then. And we're back. Take it away, Zan.
All right. So thanks so much for hanging back with us during that break, everyone. We are back with our party newly united as the book club comes to see this absolute kerfuffle of a improvised performance in front of us. But before we move back into that, just another huge thank you to Michael Wayne for that $10 donation while we were on while we were on break. Who has added in a very supportive father figure for the Bone Lord, who is very proud of him and his upkeep of the Eternal Necropolis. Which, yes, does have to be said like that every single time. Now we see our band of, should we call them performers? Probably not. Our band of would-be performers now confronted with 3 undead in their presence. And I'll leave the scene to my players.
I say, this is a rather unusual performance.
I think they are here for something else.
Here for something else. That's ridiculous. No, this is the. Of course, you don't see this every. It's a Genasi torch, like, full on, full body living torch over here.
Mizar is still attempting to juggle fire while he's on fire because this isn't bothering him.
That is quite the display there.
Yes, well, and we don't get out much, but I don't. Locrian, is this what kids do these days? Is this what the kids are doing these days for entertainment?
I'd say it was a niche, but I think that would be too on the nose.
Well, you've come just in time to not have book club. Welcome to Joyce Cove. We're so happy to see you. I'm Lady Di, I'm the head of the tourism department. Have you come to stay? We have some lovely places to stay, I'm sure.
And I am Elva. I run the pet shop. If you would like to come this way, I have many lovelies for you to see.
They are delightful, and they don't even eat. That's the best thing about undead. They don't cost anything to keep up.
Thank you!
Oh, that would be really good for overhead.
You said book club, and then he stopped juggling and is like kind of brushing the fire that's on him off. I think some of these might have been some of your book pages. He's kind of brushing his hands, and you just see like ash just coming off of them.
Oh, we've read those hundreds of times.
Hundreds of times. We could give you a recitation right now, you dulcet darling. Now come on over here and tell us what you're doing here.
Right. So we're a performing group. We've got a fire juggler. I do card tricks and things like that.
What's your group name?
And group name. We have a name. It's a good name too. It's the Fiery Magic Trick Group.
Huh. I like it.
Well, we can work on it. But darling, come here a little closer. You, the one on fire. Now, I hate to get involved in things like this, but you must be aware that the population here is, some of them are rather flammable. So you must keep safety precautions or you'll burn through your whole audience. And that's not good for business.
Okay. Zan, so Mizar has a terrible long-term memory. The short-term memory is not that good either. But, and this is something we had talked about backstory-wise. It's kind of like coming back to him that maybe he would have been here once before a long time ago.
Yeah, I think you briefly went to the outskirts of this town a couple of years back.
Yeah, we didn't. I think I know about. I didn't put two and two together. I didn't see any undead. I want to say people. Is that insensitive? Beings here when I was here before, but
Oh, that's perfectly understandable, dear.
I hid something I stole here. That's true. I wonder if it's still there. Huh.
Was it some of the books? Because I do feel like we had a larger collection for book club, and they've been gone. And I've been blaming on Elva with all her pets, but maybe I've been
books.
wasn't
I'm not really the reading sort.
Oh,
Cloak.
do you all need more books? Because I know a guy. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, Miser. Go ahead.
Absolutely. We could use more books for book club.
I was just gonna say, cloak, lot of patches, kind of orangish, like dark orangish and gray on like on dark orange on one side, gray on the other. Lot of little patches on it.
That sounds horrendous.
terrible. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Even on Orange Day, that's terrible. Locrian, have you seen any sort of nasty cloak around?
You actually remember seeing this cloak. It was buried. It was buried very, very poorly near the Bone Lord's Keep.
Well, there's good reason for that. So ugly.
I would not be caught undead in that thing.
Now, speaking of that,
Mizar.
Fireboy, stand a little further away and let's talk about this cloak. It needs not that cloak. We'll talk about that cloak next, but this cloak
As
right
ugly
here.
as it is, it must have a purpose, right?
Yeah. Did you make a head thing out of a tie? A couple of ties?
Just this part. I took some old cloth and then I tied it here to cover my face. Just that part.
Oh, you darling. You really, it's really terrible. It's so terrible.
We must get you clothed properly.
It's true. It's true.
Feel like I'm being insulted. He just whispers that to me and Bart as loudly as like as untactfully as possible.
Well, a little, darling, my little lollipop. But this other cloak was actually worse. So.
Well, it wasn't my cloak per se.
Was it magical?
Just stole it when I ran. I guess escaped would be a better term. But that.
Was it fireproof? Maybe that would be why it's so ugly.
Well, all of me is kind of fireproof. It was just something that I guess the term would be masters liked because it could change appearances, and when I escaped, I stole it.
Oh, it can change appearances. Good, because it really shouldn't stay.
Never be that appearance again.
Ever.
I have to say, I'm looking at Locrian, and I'm getting the feeling we're BFF. That maybe he doesn't believe that you're here just to get a new cloak.
Well, I mean, we're a traveling performance group, so we're looking for patrons, customers, coin. That sort of. You do have coin here, don't you?
You've come to the wrong place because we have been neglected for years, decades even. We don't get much tourism here.
Can I roll like a perception check or something? I feel like I don't believe this.
That would be an insight check.
an insight check. Thank you.
Should I roll deception?
Yeah, if you're trying to lie.
I just
I've
coughed that
also
behind
rolled
Bark.
insight.
which-
It's like a half lie because I mean, Bark's here for coin, but not as a performance group. So
17.
there we go, 13.
All right. Yeah, both of you are solidly aware that Bark is not giving the whole story.
Why don't we walk and talk?
Yes. That seems rather the thing, doesn't it?
Non-dead people huddle? Eddie kind of, Mizar kind of looks to Bark, and we have like, can we talk real quick?
Put a pin in it on that walking and talking thing. We'll be right back.
Take your time.
Bark's gonna climb down and huddle, which for Bark is just standing in the middle of the huddle.
Sometimes you wish people would just be straight up with you.
Okay, so should we tell them that we're here to potentially loot and kill the Bone Lord dude? Or at least try to get him out of the way of your businessy stuff? Or...
Well, you know, I'm starting to wonder about this whole businessy thing. It seems they actually don't have money here, so it's going to be a little bit more of a long, big picture process than I originally thought. So, well.
Wait, above the table, do we not have money?
No, you do. There's just
We're
Not a lot.
cashless. We're
there's
just a
no
cashless economy now.
there's no influx of income, so it's just continually being shifted around the populace.
Gotcha.
So,
What do you think?
you know what? We could ask them about it. Worst case scenario. They don't want to help us, and then Mizar, you just burn them.
They did seem pretty angry about the Bone Lord. Maybe.
Hey, maybe they'll be good business partners,
And if it doesn't work
or
out,
maybe they'll be. Yeah, sure. You want to go ask them, or you want me to?
you talk better.
Well, I mean that's that's pretty much true everywhere, but I appreciate that. Okay, I'll go talk. What's the plan again? What am I saying? We want them to help us kill the Bone Lord.
I think so.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. We're here because the annoying talkie speaker guy said
Yeah.
stuff. I wasn't paying that much attention. But if we get him out of the way, you can build your little business economy thing here, and we can just take over. So,
Right. I can start my tavern, and then that'll be the first one, and then we'll do franchises, and then it'll be a whole chain up and down. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. You don't need to know all these details. Okay. So the plan is we talk to them, we see if they want us to help, if they want to help us get the Bone Lord out of here, through one method or another. And then if they don't want to help, that's when I tap you in, right?
okay.
Mia, what about you? What's your input?
I think we should ask them. Seemed like they might be on board. At least I hope so. But I can help Mizar if things go south.
All right, perfect. Okay, I will go. I will go talk to them. Hi. Sorry about that.
So before Bart comes in, I think I might want to just intimidate the three of you into like being truthful. And I'd probably I can cast up to 3 different effects with thaumaturgy. So I'm going to like change the color of my eyes to like flamey, make harmless tremors in the ground for 1 minute, and create like the rumble of thunder. And try to use all those to intimidate. So should I roll intimidation?
Yeah, we're gonna say you can roll intimidation with advantage on that.
I don't know why I have 2.
That's because you were rolling with advantage.
Okay,
Yeah, so we'll give you that 22 then.
perfect. So I'm very intimidating. Go on.
What's the saving throw for that?
It's not a saving throw. It's just a visual effect.
Okay. I meant for the intimidation.
You can make an insight check on it if you want.
Okay. 17.
17. Okay. I mean, it's a ghost. It seems kind of spooky.
It's not actually a 13 for me with my proficiency, so I'm kind of scared.
Okay.
Do you pee yourself? You can't. You're on fire.
Just a slow cloud of steam rising.
I kind of just like take a couple steps back and like push Bark forward a little bit. You know that thing like parents do with their children where they like have their hands like this and kind of just push them forward a little bit, like introduce yourself. Yeah, I do that.
Awesome.
So there was the intimidation. Was anything said alongside with the intimidation? I know Locrian doesn't talk, right?
Right. You're just being
Did anybody else say
intimidating and
anything?
listening very intently.
Thanks for that follow. So Barks would be well, I suppose we should to tell you all the whole story. So
That would be preferable.
Did you just pee yourself?
No,
who, me? No.
No, Flame Boy.
no, not that scared.
Really?
I thought you were going to tell us the whole story, and you're lying already.
No, they're gonna tell you the whole story. I'm just gonna stand here with the sword on my back.
That's fascinating. I haven't seen anybody pee themselves in almost like 240 years. Do it again.
Well, you know,
No,
for the right price, I could arrange that.
no, you
Now
can't.
it's gotten weird.
Oh,
I mean, just
I'm
not that way. I'm just saying, like, you know, I like money. Anyways, the whole story. So we technically kind of do performing. It's more like I make situations happen and then I charge people to watch it, like fights, for example. So we're sort of a performing group, but not the type that we were talking about. Anyways, we're actually here, sort of a reconnaissance sort of committee. We're trying to figure out, you know, how to get rid of this whole Bone Lord guy, so that we can,
Zarek?
you know, bring in investors. Yeah, that guy.
At that, like, I
Yeah.
just dropped my intimidation. I completely, like, just
I
dispel
would
my intimidation.
very much be interested in.
Wait, you're bringing investors here?
That's my plan. If we can get rid of the Bone Lord, and then, you know, we can bring in new business and investors, and I could, you know, maybe take some of these empty buildings off your hands.
Well, you amazing.
Puts a hand around
Amarillas.
his neck. How can we help?
I'm the head of the tourism department and the Better Business Bureau.
Oh, well, perfect. Well, then it seems like you're the person I need to talk to. But as I understand it, Bone Lord person has, shall we say, they're holding the deed to all the lands now. That's what I've been led to believe?
Indeed.
By force, not by money.
You said indeed.
Well,
We should get paid by the pun.
If only.
There's not that much gold.
So wealthy.
So if we wanted to convince this person to or lich or undead, whatever they are. We wanted to convince them to leave. What do you think would be the best way to do that?
Well, the best thing would be to go and have a little confab, which we're not going to do right here in the middle of the street. And don't you need to, like, eat and sleep and things like that?
Periodically, yes.
So let's take care of those things and make a plan. And planning right in the middle of the street's not very, private.
I just want to go. Look, I say I'm not really hungry right now. I got these, and he kind of like pulls the ration out of his bag. We just did a lot of walking. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about these two, but I kind of figure, hey, we go up, knock on his door. I ask him nicely, and if that doesn't work, then I kick the door in and break his face.
Well, if you need a map of the castle and you want to come in not the front way, I have such a thing.
I mean, you do realize we've lived here for 233 years, right? If it was as easy as going in, knocking on the front door, and kicking him in the face, like, I would have done that. I mean, I have done that, but it hasn't helped much. Just ruined my shoe.
Right. So, what's his motivation for holding on to this place? Like, is there sentimental attachment? Is he, trying to hold it until a better offer comes along? Clearly, he's not looking to develop the area.
The three undead residents will know that he's doing this because it makes his father, the Bone Daddy, proud.
I'm gonna somehow manifest the words "daddy issues." Either like if we still have pieces of book flying around, I'll either do it that way, or I can cast Thaumaturgy again and make like some kind of sensory effect. That's smoke. It just says daddy issues.
Can we sort of hustle them into my shop?
I can do that.
And this doesn't feel like it's
Sure.
something that we would feel comfortable talking about right in the middle of the street.
Fair.
Yeah, Bark will go along.
Mizar is going to walk into the shop. I want to just look around the shop and like take everything in. Just just get like a general awareness of like what's in the shop, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. You can describe what's in the shop to him, Lady Di, if you'd like.
Sure. So there's two entrances and exits, and the shop front, it looks like two stores, but they're really like the same store with a thing between, like a open way. And one is a small beauty shop that has a beauty chair and like nail polish and lots of wigs and heads and whatever you might need to have more beauty if you were undead. Like big things of hair and ears and all sorts of things. And then on the other side is fashion. It's all very sort of steampunk meets Dallas or whatever those like sort of like late 80s, early 90s shows about Texas, right? We're like big, it's big. It's not subtle. And there's like somewhere like probably on the beauty side is like a way to like tie yourself back up, and there's a whole row of arms and legs and everything you might need if you were undead to become even more beautiful than you already are. But there are some regular-ish clothes too, in terms of like there are cloaks. Everything is a lot.
Miev is very distracted and having a hard time paying attention.
This is all
Miev,
so tacky.
So
you do notice things in your size.
Yeah.
An unusual
Mizar,
sight after
don't-
growing up with no, you didn't grow up with half, and you don't remember where you came from. Never mind. It's still a rarity.
It is. It's hard to find things in my size.
And I'm gonna notice and be like,
Mizar, don't insult them.
when we're done this talk, you and I can talk. I have an idea for you.
Miev is skeptical, but will listen afterwards.
But for now, we have to talk about the Bone Daddy.
Right. So where were we? Oh yes, daddy issues. That's right. So well, the rules of profit says never let family get in the way of opportunity. So maybe we could convince the Bone Lord that there's something more profitable than something as silly as a parent's pride in you.
Well, the Bone Daddy is the head of the Zoning Board of Adjustment. And so he's completely rezoned the entire area as undead, and now there can't be any new businesses, and it's rather obnoxious.
He gave the deed
Wait,
to
I've
everything
got it.
to his
There
son.
can't be any.
Right?
There can't be any new businesses. You said.
Well, you have to talk to him. You know those rules. Like you just go into the zoning board of adjustment and you say, "Oh, I just want to expand my shop," and then there's some sort of like tree or some sort of like native frog or something, and you can't change anything, and it's no
Oh,
good.
sure. I know all about those things. But so there's always a loophole. So if there's no new businesses, but we could. It sounds like that doesn't say anything about old businesses reopening. So that may be very well something to look into.
I mean, how do we feel about just
Just as a
going in
thought.
and setting him on fire?
Oh, I can help with that.
We do have now like Fireboy.
It would need to be.
Is that going to cost me anything extra to do that?
No, I'll set stuff on fire for free.
Locrian put
Then I'm on
flame
board.
in his hand using thaumaturgy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that.
Agreeing.
I would rather us also have explosives. So there's fire and explosives.
I mean, the good news is if you die, you'll come back. I mean, that's what happened to us.
I will make sure of that. I will make very much sure of that.
Okay, so Bart gave us one loophole. Another loophole is just going in and punching his son in the face until he gives us the deed to everything. That's a loophole. But I really just want to go in and ask this guy first. And then if that doesn't work, then we can start with the punching and the setting things on fire. But I really think I should, I've heard, I don't know if you noticed, I've heard I can be pretty persuasive, so I want to try that at least. If it doesn't work, we pretend like we leave, and then we bum rush the guy.
Okay.
I mean, you do understand, you little lollipop, that we literally have been trying to think of things for 233 years. So, we've thought of just go in and punch him. We did think of that one pretty much right away. So it's perhaps we could have I like the setting on fire, but
here's
there has to be a little more to it than just setting on fire. I mean, we have lived here a long time. You're not the first people who ever thought of this.
I think Locrian at this point kind of floats back into further into the shop onto a couch and just in a this is hopeless kind of gesture.
Well, you're all dead, right? So there's been a lot of no offense by the way, but it's been you all as the dead / undead asking him, well, if you could get more living people in here, and ask and get more living people coming here, that's either more living people to turn into dead people for him to own stuff from, or living people coming in to provide more capital to this place, and then he ends up making more money overall. So have you tried asking live people to come and help and ask him if he'd be willing to hand over the deeds for stuff for expansion?
They seem very off-put by the undead thing. Every time I walk up to one of you living folk, you seem to run in terror, and I am not very scary.
It's the skeleton-y thing.
Says the skeleton with moss hanging from her scalp.
I
I
used to
just
sing
want
on
you to
bed.
know that I put that moss on there last week, and it is extremely in style. Voice in the sky.
Oh,
Look,
it looks absolutely lovely.
Locrian kind of just gestures like, go for it. Like, just kind of like this
Go.
through language. You can tell he's like, go, fuck it. Like, I'm not going to try and convince you. Go try and punch this guy in the face and see how it works. And if it doesn't, we'll be here. We've got a couple thousand centuries.
When's the next zoning board of adjustment meeting, though?
It's been indefinitely postponed.
Well, if we could get the board to meet again, that would give you a perfect in.
That's true. We'd also need to figure out, and I know this sounds absolutely crazy, but some people are motivated by things other than money. So we do need to figure out: does Bone Daddy have those motivations, or is he looking to make a profit? Or maybe he's interested in power, which, I mean, power and money are kind of the
Yeah,
same thing.
control, power. That's
Can we,
probably right.
Domination seems par for the course for those type of people.
Can we sneak into his place and maybe find maybe he's written things down, has a journal? Some people do that.
That's an idea.
Ooh,
If we
pull like
ask him,
some sort of corporate espionage.
Yeah.
yeah, or if we ask him and he doesn't give it
Alva
to us,
pulls
then you
out
can do
the
the sneaky
map.
thing and steal it.
Alva pulls out the map.
I mean, go for it.
It would
We'll-
likely be here. Points to the place where it's most likely to be.
Yeah, it's that place is labeled the zone of emotion. No secrets here.
Looks like the place.
I think Lady Di is going to go over and sit next to Locrian and be like, well, it's more entertaining than book club. I mean, don't you think we have to go along with
Very
them and help
much.
them? I mean, we
Well-
haven't had someone come and get themselves killed in, I don't know, at least 25 years.
I am so interested in them.
I feel like by this time, somehow, Locrian has managed to figure out a way to communicate with Lady Di.
Yeah.
So in some way, he communicates that they're going to go try to do their thing. It's going to fail, and they'll come back to us, and that's when we'll come up with a plan. But at the same time, if you're intent on following them, I'm not expending energy. I'm just floating.
Well, you know how I hate to get involved in things. And I much prefer to stay home, but it just seems like they're going to get themselves killed. And if they're going to do that, we might as well watch.
Yes, I would try and prevent that, but at the same time, if they die, I can just bring their dead bodies back.
That would be great for the pet shop.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we could go.
All right.
I mean, I think watching people die has kind of is entertaining enough to convince Locrian.
All right. So, what's the plan?
I go up and ask for the deed nicely, and if it doesn't work, Mizar gets to punch somebody in the face.
All right.
This does not seem like a very well thought out plan.
So,
Well, I've got an idea. So, so what if we try that? We ask nicely. Mizar, if we don't get the right answer, Mizar punches the thing in the face. And best case scenario, we win and everything's great. Worst case scenario, Mizar dies and you all get a new pal. And then me, Evan, and I, we sneak into the sneaky secret place.
Sounds good to me.
If you're going to be sneaking, I would like to come along.
says the heavily armored cleric.
Not heavily armored at all.
Okay.
Leather
Cool.
armor.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Then So it seems like everybody has their roles determined for them. You all begin walking in the direction of the keep, where you know Zarek, the Bone Lord, keeps himself occupied. As you begin to approach, you see some 30 skeletons standing in front of the standing on the road in two single file lines, um, flanking either side of the pathway. How do you proceed?
Walking straight through, and I'm waving my hand. It's like,
Albus-
we're just here to talk.
Are these skeletons that above the table, are these like people we know from town?
No, both of you would be aware that these are display skeletons.
Okay. I just also want to point out I put on my battle hair, just in case. My formal hair
Mhm.
and my parasol, my battle parasol.
Okay, I'll take that into account.
Whole parasol.
Yeah, and you march straight up. Mizar, you're a little shocked that none of the skeletons move to face you in any way. However, in the in the foyer, there is a large Dila de la Muertos skeleton, towering in size, easily 10 feet tall, gaudy sugar paint dripping from it as it stalks the hallway back and forth. It's not cake, Michael, but I hope it's close enough.
This is why we can't stand him. He's so tacky.
I want to just walk directly up to him and say, "Hi, I came to ask you a question."
The sugar skull golem looks to you and goes,
Very uncouth.
I think Locrian wants to fly up to him and try and bite him.
okay, go for it. Make an unarmed attack roll.
Okay. Where am I? Shit, I don't have that.
It's just strength or dexterity plus a d20.
Okay. Let's just pretend I'm rolling a d20. Oh wait, strength. Let's go with dexterity because that's better.
All right. Okay. So we'll say that is that'll hit. It's a large object. There's not that hard. Yeah, you bite into it and it is just the blandest, most overwhelmingly sweet, stale sugar that you have ever crunched. And quickly after you tear it off, it falls through the insubstantial nature of your jaw.
Now you gotta go bite and stuff.
Because it's food.
Food.
I say without saying it.
You just give me this look that conveys.
We all intuit that you.
I just gesture wildly to it. Why? Who wouldn't bite it? It's
wouldn't.
obviously a sugar skull. Like,
I just want to talk to the Bone Lord. Excuse me, you're in the way.
Make a charisma check for me.
Charisma, just straight charisma.
Unless you're trying to intimidate or persuade it, yes.
I want to persuade it.
Okay. How are you persuading it?
Look. I don't want to fight you. You don't want to fight me. I'm just here to talk. So, if you could just move to the side, that would be great.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
Can Bark assist?
Certainly. How's Bart going to assist?
So Bark's going to do the thing where it's like, as soon as Miser says, look, we just want to talk. We just want to talk. Bark's going to be like, yeah, we just want to talk. We just want to talk. No, we don't need to fight. And just like highlighting on the keywords that Mizar says.
Okay, go ahead and make that check with advantage then, Mizar.
Okay, so with advantage, that's an 18.
All right. The golem steps aside.
Cool. I just want to walk past the golem, smile, and give him a thumbs up, and then go knock on the door.
Okay, as you knock on the door to the throne room, you hear a raspy voice say, "Gaw, who's coming to bother me? Oh, Dela, I told you, don't let anyone past."
Excuse me, Mr. Bone Lord. Not a dead person here coming to ask you a question.
It's Zarek the Bone Lord. Who do you think you are, my dad?
Excuse me, Mr. Zarek the Bone Lord. Not
What?
dead person coming to ask you a question.
Fine, what do you want?
Can I come in?
Fleshy? Yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
I'm gonna open the door to the throne room and slowly sidle inside.
It is a like a Spencer's Gift paradise. There are crude posters on the wall of like blacklight dragons painted everywhere, some of them in felt. There's various like lunatic bard group paraphernalia lying around. Definitely not. We're not copywriting. We're not violating any copyrights today.
That took me a second.
Okay.
I'm confused, but okay.
And band post, local traveling minstrel posters all over the wall, and a collection of Michael. No, this is a very different character. This is a serious character. No, wait, this is a stupid character, not a serious character, not my friends.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just as tacky as it could possibly be. There are even little glow in the dark stars taped to the ceiling.
Mr. Zarek the Bone Lord. I've come to ask you a question. And I have a really good reasoning behind this, so I need you to hear me out completely before you say yes or no. Sweet.
Fine.
So, do you like money?
Do you like money? Everybody likes money. Duh.
Cool. Okay, so I'm alive, and I know somebody who is a lot better at business than me, who could make this town a lot of money. But to do that, we need the deed to everything that you have, so you don't have your daddy issues or whatever.
The problem with that is I'm in charge, and you look like a loser.
Okay, well, I can look like a loser. That's fine. But I know a person that's really good with money and making money and wants to make a lot of money. You have the deed to all the stuff. So what I'm thinking is
you that give your us mom?
No. No.
Mark's like poking her head back from behind. My eyes are going like, "Hi, we'll talk when he's finished."
Yeah, see, look, if you give us the deed to everything, we can make you more money.
And I think every time the Bone Lord talks, Lady Di's eyes roll so hard they fall out of her head.
Literally.
Like literally, and they have to keep getting picked back up. Like the three undead are like in the doorway scowling and picking up their eyes if they have them.
Like I said, they're better, and he's kind of like pointing behind him at Clark. They're better at business than me, but I could make a good security guard or something. All you need to do is give us the deed to all the stuff.
But
right.
What do you want to say, little ankle biter?
Hello there. So yes, I am Bark. I am a businesswoman from the next town over. Mizar here is just a fantastic person, not the best at explaining things. So, yeah, we don't need you to necessarily give us the deeds per se, but I figured we could work out maybe some sort of, lead share type system, or maybe a lease or something like that. Maybe opening things up for expansion. Because right now, your economy seems to, and if you'll pardon the unintended pun here, it seems to be quite literally dead.
Your car seems to be literally dead.
I would say it's in shambles. And he kind of points at the skeleton.
Marcus is like, not helping.
So you're just here to tell me that I'm doing a bad job? You're not going to tell me how to
No.
fix
No,
it?
not at all.
You're just going to critique? Are you just, who are you? Did my dad send you?
I don't know your
Oh,
dad.
no, not at all. Miser, stop talking.
Hey, you are. You're
not
doing
helping.
a terrible job. You know this. Now just
Mm.
shut
I
it,
don't.
phone
look,
boy, and
Okay,
I
listen
don't-
to these people.
no.
They're trying to help you.
Look, I'm not doing a bad job. I'm doing a great job. Dad says he's proud of me or whatever that means.
It's
Okay,
like
nobody
when they give
but
you a second place ribbon in a sporting event.
Okay, fine. Nobody saying you're doing a bad. Okay. Nobody besides Mizar and Dai was your name. Perfect.
Diatomation.
Nobody besides those two are saying you're doing a bad job. I'm certainly not. I'm just saying there's always opportunities for even more profit.
Yes, we
I'm
do
not-
need an influx of money.
I'm not saying
She's
he's doing a
right.
bad job. Just you could probably make us more money if we had the deed.
Imagine how proud your
Ah.
dad would be if you made more money.
Exactly. I am.
Excuse me, do you think I live for my dad's approval?
Yes.
No. God, that would be lame.
Can I roll a persuasion
Well,
check?
then think of all the cool stuff that you could buy with more money.
Exactly. And think of how much more lively this town will be with an influx of cash.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I want. A bunch of preppy living people coming in and playing their pop music and stinking the place up with their cologne and their smiles.
That
Ugh.
sounds lovely.
Well, see, that's the beautiful thing about it. That's the beautiful thing about it. See, when that happens, they spend all their money here, and then we get all the money. Meaning, you get the largest share because you own the deed, but we'll work out details later. But see, we get money, and then that gives you enough money to go buy a place, an even bigger, even better place without any of that crap, way off somewhere else. Like in a cemetery where there's lots of bones, or some, bigger, better, quiet castle.
Yes,
He could just
like a
kill
summer
everybody
mansion.
again. We get the money and then he just kills everybody again.
That's not a sustainable business plan, Mizar, but I appreciate your input.
I'm pretty sure it might work. You see him hastily scribing down a note.
Can I roll a persuasion check?
Sure.
I want to try and persuade this guy.
With advantage because I'm helping.
Your help is the only thing not giving him disadvantage.
Okay. So
Oh, that's that one. Quick
that is
reminder to everyone, too. The cast currently has 2d4, 2d6, 1 switch, and 2 advantages that can be used at any time.
Yep.
a second one.
Just a one. Just a one
A
there. my
second
dude.
that one on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think you're a poser.
I think
He is very good at poses.
I think I'm not that
He
smart.
does like this one, like, I can't quite do it, but his arms go up and the muscles get bigger. It's really cool.
It's like this every time you talk to him. It's just blah blah blah, and then nothing. So can we move on here? Can you just put him on fire or something? Because we have to go talk to Bone Debbie after this.
Oh
now.
yeah, put me on
I'm
fire.
over
Time
this.
for
Yeah.
hostilities here. I think this one, gestures to Bart, has a point.
Well, thank you.
Hey, Zarek, we're done with this.
Oh, done with
And
this.
I would-
Yeah, you still live in my town. You still
Get your
live under
dad out
my
here.
roof, don't you?
Get your dad out here.
No, no,
Little
Dad's
bone
on
boy.
vacation right now.
I would like to
Well, I'm
roll
in charge.
persuasion with advantage and then use a d6 afterwards.
I'm gonna
If
I'm gonna
necessary.
let you know that probably won't do just a little DM nudge. That probably won't do much good.
Mizar wants to do a
Hmm.
thing.
Okay.
Does does Locrian have something that he can write on the wall with?
Yeah. You can use thaumaturgy for that. And what's
Okay,
Mizar
so-
want to do?
Mizar's gonna let Lokri do their thing, but he's just gonna have a ball of fire in his hand.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm gonna write. Everyone knows you have a tiny dick on on what's his face's Zarek's wall.
We clearly need to have conversations about our public relations before we talk to anyone else.
Okay,
Okay.
a little bit of above table. I have a +4 to persuasion. I just rolled like shit.
Yep.
Hmm.
That happens
+4
sometimes.
and a +2 proficiency, and I rolled a nat 1. That's
Are you a barbarian with 18 charisma?
I'm a barbarian with 14 charisma.
Okay, so you should just have that should just be a +2 plus.
It's a
your
racial
proficiency.
thing.
Oh, for the Genasi?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that should just be a +4 total.
And it is. So.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, but still though, I just rolled really bad.
Sorry, man. Dice are cruel. Dice are cruel.
Hmm.
And this is making it very interesting.
Yeah. So it just goes, oh, yeah, that's fine. I have a tiny dick. Yeah, who's the one who seems mature now? Ghost boy. At least I have a dick, and it's a schlong. They call me the Bone Lord for a reason, you know.
Zan.
Yeah.
The reason my thing with persuasion so high is because I have the skill for sufficiency because of Urban Bounty Hunter. That's why that is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's no worries.
I feel like I'm the only mature one in the room at the moment.
I'm gonna lean into to Miav and be like, no, it is true. I used to make his underwear. It's very small. Very small. That's what he's compensating. I mean, we've all been dealing with this for 233 years. Are we almost done here? Can we go talk to the guy who's actually in charge? Can we make an appointment with the zoning board of adjustment and get these zoning boards adjusted, please? Or do we need to keep talking to this guy who has, someone humping an it on the wall? And he thinks it's funny. And he does have a really tiny penis. That is kind of.
I think Locrian is
Excuse me.
just drawing anatomically correct diagrams of how small.
Whoa, Michael Wayne.
Another.
Just with that donation from Michael Wayne, we are officially above our viewer action goal for this stream. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And the complication that was added is the Bone Daddy on a scrying stone sends a message, keep up the good work while I'm on vacation, loudly. So I'm assuming it's a loud message.
Yeah, it's an answering machine beep. And then you just hear, oh, son, keep up the good work while I'm gone on vacation. I know that you can do it. And remember, I'm proud of you. I love you, Boo Bear.
There's gonna throw the fire.
And there's an audible laugh from Elva. Like,
Mark's just like, Boo Bear, I'm filing that away for
Are
later.
we at the fire part yet?
Mizar just throws after he hears that, Mizar just throws the fire at him.
Okay, make your ranged attack, make your spell attack roll.
When I said hostile takeover, this isn't what I meant.
Said hostile. What else does that mean? 20.
Yeah, 20's gonna hit.
I should have explained
6
it better.
fire damage.
6 fire. Okay, yeah, he is he's solidly roasted, and you see his well-tailored from a different fucking tailor black leather jacket with safety pins and various punk minstrel patches in it go up in flames. It's like, whoa, that's rude. Hey, we were having a conversation and you're just gonna use fire? Who the heck do you think you are, man? That's not cool.
we tried to have a conversation, and then you were being a dick about it. So I threw fire at you. You were also talking about your dick a lot, and I didn't appreciate that. So fire.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? And he starts to get up in your face.
Do
you want to fight me, bro?
In my face?
Yeah.
Is he within grabbing range?
Yeah.
Can I grab his face and produce flames again?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm gonna grab his face and do produce flames again.
Are we sure you're a barbarian or a wizard?
It's 12.
12 is not gonna do it, unfortunately. Well, you would have to make an athletics check first. Athletics or athletics for grapple.
That's a 10.
Yeah, he manages to get out of the way, and your fire goes a little wide.
Okay.
He's like, oh, what are you gonna do? Oh, you're magic. Oh, that's real cool. That's real cool. Why don't you fight me mano a mano, bone to bone, bro?
Such a
Can Mark say something here?
Yes, Mark.
Bark just wants to kind of chime in and go, so clearly I should have had a pre-meeting conversation with our group here, so just curious, before you kill my companion here, are you taking applications for your public relations department?
I don't... What does it look like?
Enough to know what that means.
It's...
I'm gonna take that as a no. Okay, go ahead, Mizar.
And Mizar's gonna pull his shield off of his back and his shorts and his long sword. I almost said short sword. And his long sword off of his waist.
Oh,
if you want to fight,
you think you're scary? You think you're super scary with that? And he holds his hand out, and what might look like a long black blade from an anime named after a cleaning detergent, wickedly curved and adorned in skulls and blood.
That took me too long to figure out.
Oh God! Wait.
Comet is the anime.
You're
Set.
I told y'all this is gonna be a Goofums game.
Yeah,
I love
I
it.
warned every one of you ahead of time. And
Is
yeah,
its skin so soft? Is that the name of the blade?
It's the Clorox blade,
no,
right?
It's the Gwen. What was the name of the blade?
Comet.
Bone rend.
Rend.
The bone rend. And he holds the blade and goes, "This is Edgelord, the bone render."
What is it with you and? But okay, and I'm just gonna take a swing at him.
Okay, make an attack.
Let's see. Where actions? Long sword. I'm doing this one-handed. That's a 14.
All right, yeah, 14 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, it's there. He takes 7 slashing.
All right, so yeah, you bring the longsword down and bring it square across his face, and a few teeth fly across the room, and he drops the sword and covers his mouth. He goes, "Oh, bro, what the fuck? What the? You knocked my teeth out. Who does that? Fuck you, man. Fuck you. I'm telling my dad.
For not dodging.
Fuck you. I'm
Are you
telling my
gonna
dad.
give us the
Fuck
deed
you.
or not? Are you gonna give us the deed or not?
Fuck you. And he starts. He holds his hand out, and a messenger bag appears on it with a green teddy bear with an oversized head singing about death and demise for all. It seems to be planning an incursion of some sort. And throws the messenger bag over his shoulders like, "Fine, screw you guys. I'm going home. Fuck y'all."
Is he leaving?
Yep. Walks out.
Wait, Okay, two things. One, was that provoke an opportunity attack if he's leaving my space?
We're gonna say he used his action to disengage.
Okay. Two, I want to just turn to him and say, but this is your home? So you're just giving us this place?
Screw you, man. I'm going to my dad's house.
So is this place ours now?
Screw you. I don't even want this place anymore.
Dope. Thanks. You still suck.
Awesome.
So, where would the deed to the place be? Just, before you leave.
Oh, paperwork. I don't know. Probably in Dad's office.
Great, thank you.
And with that, he
Sorry about my friends.
he waves his hand, and a doorway opens in the middle of nowhere. You can see beyond a pit of fire, screaming devils, bats flying out, and one lone heavy metal guitar riff. And he steps through, and the portal closes behind him.
So he steps through the fire and flames.
You could say that.
So
Nice.
that's Eric.
He's a weenie.
Yep. And that's why we don't talk to Zarek. Because it rather doesn't seem worth it. I mean, he didn't just leave forever, right? You do know that. Yeah.
You all do still notice the blade on the ground.
I'm not touching that.
I'm not touching that.
I'll pick it up.
I think... Okay.
Lokrin, you pick it up?
And I want to cast Identifying on it.
But
right.
it's Cyan Day. You can't hold that on Cyan Day. It doesn't match at all.
I give a look at Di like, this is more important than colors.
All right.
I think it's gauche on any day.
And Lady Di's gonna like rip her skirt and like reverse it around to be black, so that it can be Black Day
Okay.
to match the
Of
outfit.
course, you gotta come
Black
prepared.
goes with everything.
That's
Jesus
why
Christ.
it's my other color. You know this.
Yeah, so you cast Identify. And Michael, can you remind us the details of this sword? Or no, wait, Gwyn, this was Susie, this was yours, your buy-in, right? Please remind us what this sword does.
I no, I just named it.
Okay.
I don't remember who gave it to us.
That would have had to have been Michael. But yeah, so you cast Identify on the sword, and possessing the weapon complication. Okay, yeah. So the weapon is it is a magical +1 sword. It deals 2d. It's a great sword, deals 2d6 damage. However, if at any point you deal 13 damage, exactly, then something cool is going to happen. What the something cool is, the spell descriptor that you get is something metal as fuck is going to happen. And otherwise, as you pick it up, you do hear a kind of reedy voice go, "Oh, hello. Are you my new master now?"
I say nothing. I think knowing that this sword talks, I think I'm gonna want to keep it.
A sword that's an edgelord. Wow.
are you just like too cool to say anything?
I put it. I kind of sheath it behind my back.
Okay. Yeah. And
I'd
with
say that
that,
I didn't see this
Are you
coming.
keeping that?
I gesture like, why the fuck not?
Well, no, we are gonna have to totally redo our ensemble. Like, if you're gonna wear that, we are gonna have to go a little goth. I did not think those words were gonna come out of my mouth today.
I don't think I want to go goth, but if it's a flowing dress, then that's
Yeah, right? No, it's good. It's fine.
Can I use thaumaturgy to make it a little like to give it a flower?
you can. You definitely can. What kind of flower is it?
It's gonna be a little daisy.
Oh, God, you're just like my mom, always telling me to wear flowers. I hate flowers. They don't express my soul.
I give it a little tiger lily.
Can we all hear this or just Locrian?
Just Logrian.
Okay.
If I might pause for a sec, Michael brought up a good point of is there something cool that happens when we reach the viewer action goal? And Michael gave me a good idea. I think I'm going to modify it just a little bit, and I'm going to roll a die for the DM and for the cast, and whatever it ends up being on the chart, that's what we get an extra of.
Oh, nice. Super cool idea, Michael.
Yeah. And so that way everybody potentially gets to use something. So for the cast, I'm going to do a 1d6. So switch through a 1-up. So we get a switch. And then for DM, since the DM doesn't have quite as many things, we're going to do a d4. And you get a d6.
Ah, that's okay. That's okay. I'll put it to good use, ruining all of you.
All right, cool. So extra stuff.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. Yeah. Thanks again, Michael. You really saved the day on this. We really appreciate it. I know you're not on camera right now, but I can just hear the words ghostily floating through. We're all in this together. Yeah. Thanks again. We really appreciate it. So yeah. With this map, you're easily able to find the deed in Dad's boring jerk off room, and yeah, you're.
I wonder how much jerking off actually goes on in the jerk off room.
I don't want to think about it.
Well, it was called the Bone Lord, so yeah, it's probably best not to think about it.
Locrian gestures to all the very well drawn, anatomically correct, like diagrams of how the Bone Lord is not as well endowed as he'd like to claim.
And yes, actually, there is a cake in the office as well. It is a very old, very stale cake. It says, "To Dad, Happy Death Day, Heart your Boo Bear."
I love it.
Yeah, and I think now that the deed has been established, I think that this could be a good place for us to wrap it up. So the way this campaign is going to work, it's going to work a little bit differently than a standard D&D campaign. We're going to be taking pretty big time jumps in between each session. So our next game is probably going to pick up while it will be taking place next week. In game, this is going to probably be a few months later. This way, the characters can level up and get to have the fun of playing a higher level character, and we can also accurately simulate them building a town and an economy without having to do it one day at a time, because that just sounds terrible. bad radio. So, what we're gonna do now then is we're gonna go through amongst the players, and we're going to say our favorite part of the session, what role our character plans to take in their new township, and where can we find you next?
Fantastic.
Yeah, let's start.
Should we start from opposite
Yeah,
order?
let's start with Lochran this time. I say right as they take a drink.
Oh, was that me?
Yes.
All right. So I'm Kat and Schrodinger playing Locrian, and you can see me again on Fridays. My time, because I'm Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time, it's 3 p.m., but I think it's 1 p.m. on Mountain Daylight Time. We're playing, what is it? Everything Goes South from Here. It's a Monster of the Week tabletop game, and that's a load of fun because it's my first time playing Monsters of the Week, and it's a good time. Come see me then.
And what role will Lochran be occupying in the town's new council?
Oh, and then town's new council.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to come back to him. He's probably just going to be like historian at large, maybe a clerk,
It's secretary.
Yeah.
a secretary.
Actually,
yeah, a corporate clerk.
I think that might be a good. I think you're right. I think let's come to that at the beginning of next week's session.
Yeah.
Okay, Lady Di, what was your favorite part, and where can we find you?
I think my favorite part was when they came on Cyan Day. It's just such a disappointment. It just does not go with everyone's look. But now we're gonna get to make a whole new goth kind of outfit to go with the sword. So, all's not lost.
We can restyle the sword too.
Oh no, for sure. For sure. We're going to. I have a lot of really nice pink. I have lots of nice pink, like what is that? Like rat tail or whatever that's called. That people make friendship bracelets out of. Be good.
Yeah.
So I'm Calliope, and when I'm not here, you can find me teaching small children and medium-sized children, and on Twitter, and then you can find me here again.
Excellent. Village System. Who are you, and where can we catch you next time? And what was your favorite part?
So I'm Susie. You can usually find me on Twitter doing tweets about things I'm interested in. And you can find Jacques Saturday on Animus Absentis. And my favorite part, my absolute favorite part was when things went sideways and they're like, should we explain to them why we're here? It's like, yeah, just a little bit satisfying.
Yeah, it was pretty excellent. All right, Game Face. Let's hear who you are, where we can find you, and what was your favorite part?
Let's start with my favorite part.
Face.
wait, sorry.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries.
Yeah, I'm Face. You can find me on Twitter at this handle, and then back here again next week. And I really enjoyed the book club portion of the show. It was really entertaining to watch and to get to know all those characters.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And Devon, let's hear from you. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what was your favorite part?
Flat out, my favorite two parts were either both the nat ones I rolled because they came at moments that would have either been super entertaining or super important, and probably the fact when Calliope just tossed out the board, the line about the board. I was like, what? It was so out of left field. I thought it was hilarious. My name is Devon, aka GW Devon _ on Twitter. You can find me here on Sundays, or here on Mondays. On Sundays, soon to be a Air Genasi arcane archer fighter named Virmus on on the GODA podcast Twitch, and on Twitter, where I meme a lot and rant about an off camera campaign that I do, where my character just seems to trigger everything that could go wrong that the DM has planned.
It's always the case.
I got
And
cursed
last
by a hag.
and last but not least, Bark, Miss Raven. Let's hear from you.
Yeah. So I've got a couple favorite parts. The sort of selfish favorite part because it's me. I really enjoyed framing Mizar for the soupy roll attack and the insult to Boblin. That was really fun, and I'm really glad that worked because it could have gone very badly.
Oh,
And the other one being, I just really loved that last complication, the keep up the good work while I'm on vacation, Boo Bear. I loved that. It was so funny. But yeah, just amazed at how awesome the session was. Fantastic cast. Zan, you did a phenomenal job. And then my brain is so fried today. Chromatic Chimera coming in with that huge raid
Yeah.
was amazing, and Michael just basically, I think single-handedly just crushing the viewer action goal for today, and all those gifted subs and everybody else that donated and used guild coins. Super appreciated. Just amazing. My mind is blown.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. As for where you can find me next, it'll be what is today, Monday? So it'll be tomorrow. I'll be producing Zan's other game, which is amazing. It is a vampire game. It is super dark and gritty, and it's awesome. And then I will be DMing tomorrow night. The Zan's game's at 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then tomorrow night, I'll be DMing a game called Water, which is inspired by games like Subnautica and The Forest and games like that, survival buildy kind of games. And that'll be at 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow. So that's everything that's coming up here in the near future. And then, yeah, with that, I think we're ready to go for a raid. So we've got 2 different raid cries you can choose from. Why would you pick that up on Cyan Day or Happy Death Day, your Heart, your Boo Bear, which is the one I'm going to go with. But feel free to pick whichever one you'd like. And we're going to go raid. Let me make sure they're still there. They are on a break. They're going to be right back, though. It's another...
Can I make my plug real quick,
go ahead.
Raven?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We missed you. Yeah, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? All that good stuff.
No, it's no worries. I really enjoyed just getting to describe an entire Spencer's gift catalog. I love making fun of edgelord characters. There's nothing that I find more boring than an edgelord character, and so I love just taking the piss out of them as much as I can.
Also the Edgelord sword.
Yeah, sword is great.
It took me a moment to figure out that was bleach.
Yeah, there's a lot of cleaning products out there. I wasn't aware of that. And I'm Zan. You can catch me at the links that I just dropped into chat. And it's insanitygaming.com or twitter.com/insanityttrpg. I'm a professional DM. You can catch me in about 3 hours, and I'll be on Polished Scripted's channel talking about character creation for a game that is very near and dear to my heart. They Came from Beneath the Sea, which I've run on this channel, and you can easily find in this channel's VOD section. It's a delightful little tongue-in-cheek game about that's a spoof on like 1950s horror movies. So I'll be on there in just a bit. I think she's at work right now, and me and her are planning to do a little stream later. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, yeah, like Raven mentioned, I'll be running my vampire game, which is very different from this. Tonally, it is just a complete 180. It is rough times for the players. And after that, I have the great fortune to be a player in Raven's Water game. So, if if you're watching the channel, you're gonna see me. I show up here quite a bit.
Going to be very
and
insane.
yeah, this has been so much fun. I'm so excited that I have such a great cast to do a little non-traditional D&D game with. Looking forward to next week's session. We also got to think for a name for our new town, y'all.
Oh yeah. We'll have to talk about that in the Discord. Which, speaking of, I'm going to just plug one more thing here. If you do want to join our Discord and talk about all these different games and chat with people and what you thought about what their characters did and all that good jazz, you can do so on our Discord, which is right there in chat now. It's just blackfeather.club. But yeah, awesome. We'll go on the raid now. Sad, I'm so sorry. I almost forgot to give you your time to talk about your favorite part. My brain is so fried today.
It's all good.
But yeah, this is this was fantastic. We're gonna go on a raid, and I will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.